Okay. All right. So let me click here. I would like this to be in, how can I? Okay, I cannot remove. Okay, but never mind. I think this is very good.
Okay, perfect. I was just wondering,
Mhm.
can can you see the
Very
the
well.
slides?
Slides, I can see them
Oh,
very,
okay.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Perfect.
Okay, wonderful. So
Okay, so
we have plenty of time. It's 30, 4 minutes.
okay, fantastic. So
Hmm.
thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present at the Helsinki Blockchain Center. So today I will focus on DAO mode, which is this modeling method that Alex and I developed
Wait, can I just
as
say
part
one?
of my.
Let's
Yes.
take it, Alexandra, since you spend a lot of time thinking about token economies as well.
Mm,
If you have any questions, I mean, I shouldn't ask much because I have
mm,
tunnel vision, but I
yeah.
believe if you might have questions, just interrupt and please ask. Yeah?
Okay.
Let's make
Okay.
it interactive and informal
Okay.
because we have so much time. Thank you.
Mm,
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, absolutely. For any question, please ask. Um, so essentially, this is a software engineering method that aims to facilitate the design specification of decentralized autonomous organizations. In the previous sessions, we presented the first of the two mm, components of this modeling method, um, and now and today we will focus on the second diagram type, and in particular. But we will first give a brief recap, a brief introduction of the main features of this software engineering method. So first of all, we developed this approach in order to meet the need for a holistic method for platform independent DAO design, as several DAO deployment platforms, for example, exist that are very mature solutions. Um, but we addressed specifically the lack of a platform independent visual modeling notation and of a platform independent ontological model of DAOs. Since these are very complex systems, they are socio-technical in nature, as mentioned in the previous sessions, and they are and in particular um, mm, we can define multiple uh, perspectives, architectural perspectives that help us to define the governance related aspects of DAOs, but also considering the technical implementation. Um, so in particular, we will focus we focus this software engineering approach on two key problems. We aim to solve two key problems in DAOs. One relates to token economy design, um, and the other concerns organizational structure, governance structure specification. And since in the previous sessions we focused on organizational structure specification, we with DAO we today we will focus more on the second diagram type, focused on token economy design. And yes, so as as a brief recap, this software engineering method consists of uh, an ontology that incorporates different perspectives and defines the core concepts that then we will and then we model visually using domain-specific notation of DAOs for DAO design. Then we, of course, we have two diagram types that we previously, of which we previously discussed. And finally, to complete the software engineering method, we have a set of method steps that facilitate the specification of the diagrams based on a structured approach. Yes, the main benefits of adopting a structured approach, such as DAO mode, are mainly that non-technical stakeholders can contribute to the design of DAOs. This is very important because DAO systems are like they promise to disintermediate, to decentralized governance. But of course, in current implementations, there is often a core development team that is capable of making the core decisions concerning the governance upgrades, for example, to the smart contracts of the DAO, because there is no because several stakeholders might lack the understanding of the implications of the technical features for the governance of the DAO. Having a standard approach to specify DAOs can enhance the utility of these systems and can bridge this technical divide, call it, and therefore it can help to further democratize governance because it can help DAOs achieve their democratization purpose. And in our approach, we essentially address known issues of DAOs that are reported in literature, and this in particular relates to governance-related challenges that are, for example, voter apathy, and or like in general the issue of excessive governance complexity, which reduces the interest in the stakeholders to participate in voting, but we also address specific technical challenges that relate to all DApps, to all blockchain-based systems, that relate to scalability, for example, and usability and complexity of the design of smart contracts. Okay, since in the previous sessions we described DAO ML and the related tool support, we essentially we will now explain why it is important to have both tool support based on DAO ML and a software engineering method such as DAO mode to facilitate both design and implementation phases. So essentially, these two approaches have have complementary foci, you could say, complementary focuses. And so DAO can generate smart contract code from the first diagram type, from visual models, whereas DAO mode with the method steps and to guide key choices, design choices concerning the organizational structure and the token economy of the system. And this has a clear implication for DAO security, since clearly it reduces the risk of having a DAO, like having a model, a structured model, reduces the risk of introducing vulnerabilities with incremental development, and also helps validating the design role. So since DAO the first diagram type that DAO mode consists of was previously explained, and you probably already had an overview of the syntax of the second diagram type. I will briefly recap the extended TDM syntax, which is the second diagram type of DAO mode, and then I will go a bit more in depth in the description of the use case concerning Circles UBI, showing the correspondence between the first diagram type and the second diagram type.
Maybe the case is actually very, very good. So
okay,
there's enough time left for the actual case. So maybe go to the case and then you can always jump back to
sure,
the case
absolutely,
to explain. But
absolutely.
really here on the right-hand side, the DAO modes, I already explained the left-hand side
Okay, perfect.
in an earlier video, but I think this is really the interesting part and also where then Alexandra probably has some questions. Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. So I will directly start with the Circles UPI use case, and I will explain the meaning of this model. So first of all, as the extended TDM diagrams, which is the diagram on the right, um, have a tree-like structure, because they they originate from agent-oriented agent-oriented methodologies that and a family of agent-oriented methodologies called goal models, and essentially it this type of models facilitates the specification of complex systems um, by um, by progressively refining um, a root element into the sub functions of the system, so that also non-technical stakeholders can easily represent what the main the main functions of the system are and how they are executed by the system stakeholders. Um, so first of all, we have a root goal in this case that represents the DAO, the DAO, which is the Circles UBI DAO that manages the governance of manages the token economy of the Circles UBI system, and this first element uh, um, has a mission statement, okay, which which essentially explains the mission of the DAO overall. And it is subsequently the users should refine this element into the main functional areas of the DAO, which are essentially the voting protocols and the treasury of the DAO or treasuries, and also the token manager element. So I will I will firstly explain the voting protocols. So essentially, each voting protocol should be defined based on the decision making. Like in each voting protocol, metadata concerning its scope, which essentially defines the governance areas that are defined in the previous diagram type, that the voting protocol enables the deliberation upon. Then, of course, our goal of the voting protocol element is defined. A decision-making method is specified. In particular, in DAOs, several voting protocols were implemented in the DAO domain. For example, in this context, we use the optimistic governance voting protocol, which in particular, for one of the two voting protocols specified of the Circles UBI DAO. And the optimistic governance protocol in particular facilitates aims to provide a performant and simple and inclusive decision-making method, which essentially automatically executes the proposals that are not opposed by a certain threshold of users.
Maybe and mention at this point that these cloudy things with like simple performance and inclusive, they are non-functional requirements in classical software engineering, but synonymously we call them quality goals. And of course, if a system is deduced from this type of extended goal model, which can, by the way, in a separate PhD thesis I've shown, this can be very nicely used for an agile software development method. This all means something in terms of code. Okay, so these are here nice bubbles, but you can really break them down into patterns and styles, which then guide the concrete system development and engineering. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you very much, Alex. I apologize. I forgot to mention this aspect. Essentially, in this type of diagrams, we like the user specifically while the user refines the system functional requirements by using the decomposition relation that you see here, is the full line connector. The user also defines at each refinement step non-functional requirements that are the quality goal elements, and these are represented by this cloud-shaped element that you see here. And we defined some reference non-functional requirements for in particular for decision-making methods of DAOs based on the literature on the topic, and we defined reference non-functional requirements concerning token economies of DAOs. And based on these reference non-functional requirements, that are some qualities that indicate how a certain function of the DAO should be like how a certain goal of the DAO corresponding to a function should be achieved. Essentially, our method facilitates the selection of suitable elements based essentially it guides the user in the process of refining the elements of the system based on the quality attributes that are assigned to each of the elements, and by adopting some heuristics. And as I mentioned, in particular, we have two voting protocols. One is adopting the optimistic governance voting protocol, and the second one is adopting the relative majority voting. And we can also define by means of the decision-making method element requirements concerning like conditions that are needed for a user to participate in voting and in making proposals. So in the case of the General Assembly of the DAO, the users need to have the group currency token to hold a certain amount of group currency token. And by contrast, in the case of the other committees, the DAO, the users should have a certain should hold a certain amount of perishable share token. We will come in a second to what these token types serve for. But so first of all, we will now introduce how the token economy of the DAO is designed. Essentially, two elements are decomposed. As I mentioned, one is the treasury of the DAO, and the other one is the token manager element. And the former of the two essentially represents like serves to decompose like from the first of the two. The token elements are decomposed that the DAO handles as part of its operations, while the latter serves to then decompose the token elements, the token types that are issued by the DAO itself. And of course, this is a distinction that is particularly important because for the token types that that are issued by the DAO itself. It is important to define a suitable issuance, a set of suitable issuance mechanisms. And in particular, the Circles DAO manages four token types. Oh, sorry, four token types. One is the Circles tokens. That is the token type that is currently circulating in the Circles UBI system, and that represents essentially is transferred to the users as a unconditional payment, unconditional universal basic income transfer. And it can be spent in the local community. Then the Circles UBI DAO implements, like the Circles DAO implements a group currency token. Essentially, the purpose of this token is to facilitate the circulation of a multiplicity of tokens within the same system, and also the implementation of ad hoc conversion policies. I don't know if you can hear me. I think I can't hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you. No worries.
Okay. Sorry. No.
Just make sure you explain the notation a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Would you like me to go back to the notation, or
I mean, you can just point at what is what, so that it's clear
Sure.
just with your mouse. Just
Oh, sure. Yes, absolutely.
you don't have
Yes,
to go back to the notation. You know the notation full well. Just explain what the elements mean. And I think since we have 7 minutes left, probably it might be good to come back to this in the next session for the remaining explanations. Yeah. Okay. Please go ahead.
Oh, okay. Absolutely. So, essentially, we have token elements that are the rhomboid gray shaped element that you see here, and yes, then and as I mentioned, this represents the different token types managed by the system, and whether, like, as I mentioned, well, depending on whether the DAO the DAO issues the token, it's composed by the token manager element, or vice versa, if it's simply handled by the DAO, it's decomposed by the treasury element. Then we have mechanisms that are, as you can see here, the lower layer of this diagram, in this yellow shape, decompose the elements I mentioned before, and essentially they define the governance rules that enable the functioning of each of the functions previously described. And what we can see, for example, that yeah, for instance, you can see that for the group currency token, which serves for it's essentially a native currency of a Circles UBI group, and each group is represented by a DAO. Essentially, we can see that for this particular token type, we have to define a certain rule that regulates the minting and distribution of group currency to the users. In particular, this is distributed to the users who deposit in the DAO a certain amount of Circles tokens. So this essentially enables the interoperability between Circles tokens that currently circulate in the Circles UBI system and group currencies of each group. So multiple instances of this type of DAO can enable the essentially can allow multiple groups to mint their own currency and manage their conversion policies. Or other important elements concern the resource type element, which we see has this squared shape. It's in white and is associated to token types, token elements, and essentially this represents what the token gives entitles the user to receive, to obtain the service that is provided for a given token. We see, for example, that it provides governance rights in the case of the perishable share. The perishable share is a token that is minted and distributed to the contributors of to the users who are active users in the previous diagram type, and therefore contribute periodically to the system governance. And in exchange for this, they are provided a certain amount of perishable share tokens. And these tokens are periodically burned in order to ensure continuous contribution to avoid power centralization in the DAO. And other important elements in this diagram type concern, like, allow the specification of the smart contracts design primitives.
You pointed those elements.
Yes, absolutely. So in particular, we give the users the possibility to refine on-chain functions of the DAO. On-chain functions of the DAO are essentially encircled by the gray-shaped element that you see, for example, in the background of the manage attestation element. And the manage attestation function in this case, for example, serves for the DAO to set the requirements, the minimum contribution, for instance, to be made in order to receive a certain amount of perishable share tokens. And essentially, since this is a very general, very high level specification of the function, this can be refined. And since it's an on-chain function, it's implemented by a smart contract. We give the user the chance to specify the state variables that are specified using this square shaped element that is called asset, and functions of the smart contract. And then finally the users, the actors, are associated to each of the functions and of the system. And these design primitives are borrowed from a previously existing modeling language for smart contract design, platform-independent smart contract design of smart contracts to enrich the notation. And
Willow, we have less than a minute. Maybe
yes,
we do the following, because we will time out soon. We will be back in the next session